How's it going, boys? Danneh here. In this video, I'm going to run you through one of my favorite PvP healer builds that I experienced during the New World beta, including some of the attributes that I'd recommend to go with it, as well as a potential pairing for the secondary weapon that I think would go very well. This life staff build was mainly used for group PvP, specifically because of its area of effect abilities. Now, make sure you take into consideration that this was from the beta and the abilities may change for release, but if you often play group PvP or you intend to do lots of territory wars, this kind of build will work very, very well for you. Firstly, I'll run you through my recommended active abilities and passives for the life staff. So initially on the healing side, the left hand side tree, you want to pick up Absolved. Life staff's light and heavy attacks no longer use mana. This is really important. You want to marry that up with Blissful Touch. Light attacks now heal targets for 20% weapon damage when passing through an ally. This means you can attack the enemy, and if your allies are standing in front of you, which they should be, you'll be healing them as well. So a really important active skill that you want to take is Sacred Ground. This creates an area on the ground that lasts for 15 seconds and heals 20% weapon damage every second. You want to take Holy Ground, which regenerates stamina and mana 100% faster while you are stood inside Sacred Ground. Blessed, while allies are in Sacred Ground, they are healed for 50% more from all healing. You also want to take Revitalize. When you hit with a light attack, reduce all your cooldowns by 5%. You want to take Sacred Protection. While holding a life staff, increase the base health of all your friendlies in your group by 10%. Again, group dynamics and well-made parties are really important in PvP setups. So Sacred Protection will be fantastic, especially for your frontline sort of tanky type of players. And as we move over to the Protector tree here, initially you want to take Bend Light. After a dodge, your heals are 20% more effective for 5 seconds. So again, always making sure you're using your dodges in PvP scenarios. So our next active ability we want to take is Orb of Protection. Shoot out a light projectile that grants 15% Fortify for 20 seconds, heals an ally for 10% weapon damage, and deals 146% weapon damage when it hits an enemy. So again, marrying that up with Blissful Touch, this starts to become a powerful ability as well. So you want to max out the Orb of Protection. I'll just run you through what they are. So Protector's Blessing. If the Orb of Protection hits an ally, they gain recovery for 10 seconds. Recovery heals 7.5% weapon damage every second. You want to take Shared Protection. If you successfully heal an ally with an Orb of Protection, you also gain Fortify and Recovery. And finally, Aegis. When this projectile hits, it affects all allies within a 3-meter radius. This is very, very powerful. Protector's Strength. If you have a buff, you heal for 10% more. Balance. When you get hit while below 50% health, you gain 10% haste for 5 seconds. This does have a cooldown of 20 seconds. Glowing Focus. Buffs that you grant last 20% longer. As you know, we're doing a lot of buffing within this build. Beacon, this is your last active ability here. Shoot out a light projectile that deals 146% weapon damage to enemies, attaches it to its target, and heals all nearby allies for 20% weapon damage each second for 10 seconds. Again, we want to max out Beacon. So Infuse Light, Beacon's area of effect is now 50% larger. Radiance's Blessing, Beacons last 5% longer. And finally, Speed of Light. When Beacon heals a target, it also applies 20% haste for 3 seconds. If you guys didn't know, haste is what increases your movement speed. Okay, so onto the attribute points. In this particular example, I'm going to assume that you are level 60 and you have a normal set of level 60 gear. This will give you around 450 attribute points. Of course, you could have less depending on your level and your gear, and of course you could have more depending on your gear. So let's assume that we have 450. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 250 attribute points into Focus, which is going to give us 10% mana regenerate. It's going to give us plus 20 to our mana pool. it's going to give us plus 20 healing, and it's going to give us plus 20% duration on our casted buffs. The other 200 we're going to use, we're going to put straight into Constitution. We are going to be a sort of tanky healer. You know, we're assuming we're in a big PvP fight. You do not want to die. Which is going to give you all health consumables are 20% stronger. You increase your max health by 10% of your physical armor. You're going to have a 10% reduction to crit damage that you take. And finally, you're going to have a plus 20% increase to your armor. So on to weapon pairings. What do I think would go well with our life staff build? So taking into consideration, this build is built around PvP, group-based PvP. I would take, firstly, the Ice Gauntlet. The 3 active abilities I would use with the Ice Gauntlet are Entomb, Ice Shower, and Ice Storm. I won't get into too much detail on this particular video, but what we're looking to do with the Ice Gauntlet is slow down your enemies, protect yourself and slow them down. Let's take the scenario, you get split up from your group, you need to get back to them. So either 1, drop an Entomb, call for help. Number 2, drop some CCs and get the hell out of there. Another weapon that I think could go quite well with the Life Staff is actually the Warhammer. So the Warhammer is full of CCs. So again, using the Life Staff as your main weapon, and you are fully focused on healing, absolutely. But the Warhammer could absolutely protect you in some sticky situations with all of its CCs that it has. So the 3 abilities that I would suggest you guys take are number 1, the Wrecking Ball, number 2, Path of Destiny, and finally, Shockwave. Again, all of these abilities are CC related. So if you're wearing medium armor, you will be able to increase your stun duration. And again, just like the Ice Gauntlet, get the hell out of there. And finally, my last recommendation to go with the Life Staff, kind of boring, I would take the Sword and Board. So what you're looking to do if you take the Sword and Shield as your secondary to your Life Staff is basically be a massive tank. So if you're fighting on the front line and you're looking to support your mates, all of the abilities you're going to be taking here are to keep you alive. The abilities that I would recommend you take with your Sword and Shield are the Defiant Stance and Shield Rush. So I would actually only take those 2 skills if I was going to play a frontline healer, and the rest I would use for my passives. There are a wealth of passives that increase your armor, increase your allies' armor, increase your health, lots of things that will basically help you stay alive and become a bit of a tanky healer on that front line. Okay, so finally, let's talk about armor types. So in my experience during the beta, there were 2 types of armor that I loved. One was the heavy armor. That was used during territory wars. You are looking to take points, so you want to be as tanky as possible and surviving on the point. So again, as a Life Staff user, as a healer, you want to be in there with your tanks, supporting them on that front line. So heavy armor could work very well. So with the heavy armor, your block ability is increased by 15%, and your crowd control debuffs apply for 20% longer. So again, on the front line, having a 20% increase in your debuffs is actually fantastic. The other equip load that I would suggest you take, or the armor type I would suggest you take, is a light armor. I actually fell in love with running light armor in the open world for the beta, and it's based around your maneuverability. So instead of with your heavy armor, you kind of get a sidestep. With your light armor, you get a full dodge roll, and that for your movement ability is absolutely massive. So if you want to play a bit of a how do we say, a bit more of a versatile healer, not necessarily stacking on the point but moving around the outside, light armor could work very well with you. Pair that up with being able to do a dodge roll, absolutely fantastic. You can stay very mobile. What you also get with the light armor is a 20% damage increase. So if you are pushing out them left clicks constantly through your allies, healing them and attacking the enemies, it could also be quite good. One of the most beautiful things about New World is the class system and the weapon system and the equip load system. Everything is very unique and very tailored to you as an individual. So thanks for watching my recommended build there for the Life Staff. Make sure whenever you take a build from myself or from someone else, you are taking into consideration your playstyle. So you might want a little less constitution, a little more focus. You might want to take more off focus and add more to strength because you're going to run a hatchet as a secondary. So everything can be tailored specifically to you, which is awesome. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please think about leaving a cheeky like, maybe a subscribe. I'll be dropping some more build videos out there for my recommendation. And yeah, hopefully guys, see you on the next one.